Hey, you guys, I'm so excited to be able to connect with you through this recording. And for those of you who I haven't met just yet, my name's Katie Bristow. And if you're watching this, you very well likely recently partnered with us here with Q, which welcome to the family, welcome to the team. I'm so excited to have you here. And so if we've never met, a little bit about myself. We've been with Q Sciences for just over 3 years. We're platinum ambassadors, very grateful to have time served on our equity council. And, our background actually starts in health and fitness. We've owned and operated our own gym for the last 8 years. And today I get to really coach you on and teach you some tips or tricks around one of my most favorite topics, because it has so much power in growing your business. And the faster you grab a hold of this piece, I'm telling you, the faster your business will grow. And it's the whole idea of edification and playing the role of connector, connecting your prospects to people you're working with, and how that all works. And so if you are brand new, you may have not even gotten to this step just yet, which is totally fine. But I'm going to lay the foundation and just let you know, this is really where the business starts to work. This is one of the most powerful steps in our A's, B's, and C's. It is also the most underutilized tool in all that we do here with Q, because any leader here will attest, and I know that they would back me on this, that you could literally measure the size of your paycheck by the number of connections you're making on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And so you're probably thinking, why? Why can you measure your paycheck by the number of connections? And that's simply because people are asking themselves 3 simple questions when they're looking at Q Sciences, as a prospect, as a friend, and all of a sudden the business starts to intrigue them. And the questions they're asking themselves and answering in the process is, does this make sense? Can I actually do what they're doing? But the third and almost the most powerful part of all, the third question being, will somebody help me? And so when someone can get that third question answered, and not by what's being told to them, but really what they're experiencing in the exposure process, because an exposure and getting someone from taking a look to enrollment is never, ever an event. It's always a process. It has time. Sometimes it happens quick over days and weeks. Sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it takes years. So you have to know it's a process. And so, when it comes to the connector piece, as you become confident in this, which I will also demyth, if you're thinking, okay, connecting, this must be bringing in the big guns and closing, making the sale. That is not what connecting is all about. But really what connecting is, and the power in what we're doing here, is you're bringing the human connection to business where people can feel it, it's tangible, and they start to realize what's possible for them because of who they're doing business with. It's always about the people that we're working with, and not necessarily the products or the company or the comp plan. Because I can truly say, whether someone's brand new to the industry and they've never done this before, they have fear. Whether they are a seasoned industry leader looking at Q Sciences, they have fear. Anything that revolves change and starting something new and taking yourself out of the box is going to create a little bit of fear, a little bit of uncertainty. But when people get to meet face to face or over Zoom or over phone and realize who they're doing business with, that fear can actually be lowered, and their belief and trust can be bumped to where they're excited now to take that next step in the business. And so let me bring something up that hopefully you've seen, and that is our step-by-step system, the simple A's, B's, and C's of doing business. And so you probably did your launch. Congratulations. And in that launch, you were taught how to pique interest. You were taught to invite. You got people in front of the information in that step 2 for an exposure. And then that third bubble, connect. And that gap between exposure and connect can feel super awkward, but I'm going to give you a little pro tip. Once someone has taken a look, for example, say I had my friend Sarah on an opportunity call tonight, I would say something like this to her. Hey, Sarah, thanks so much for hopping on. I'm so excited for you to know fully what I'm working on. And I'm honestly so grateful for your time. But honestly, I just want to know what you liked. I want to know what caught your eye. And if that is my number one pro tip that I could give you, is not asking, what are you interested in? Will you join me? Are you in? Are you out? No, get people talking, talking about, really the things that stuck out to them. And maybe it's product related, maybe it's business related, maybe it's the financial freedom movement. But the more content and context to what they've seen and what they liked, honestly, that connecting piece can become very, very simple, because all of a sudden you realize there's genuine interest. And if you're brand new, it could honestly be as simple as saying, look, I'm so glad, you mentioned the opportunity to make some income, stuck out to you, because that could make a real difference. But I'm new. As you know, I just got started here with Q Sciences, within the last week or the last 2 months or the last 6 months or the last 2 years. Really doesn't matter your timeline. I've only been here X amount of time, but there's someone I would actually love for you to meet. And, they've been in Q for just over 3 years. They've been able to work very closely with me and actually teach me everything that I know today. And honestly, I just want you to get your questions answered from the best source, because I truly trust them and how they've helped me. Let me see if they have a little bit of time. That connection can literally be that simple. And so when it comes to that connection piece, there's a couple next steps. And knowing your leader and how they like to work is going to be important, because some leaders are going to say, put me in a chat. And in that chat, we'll schedule time to hop on a quick call or hop on a quick Zoom. Other leaders may want you to go back to them and get a couple times and then offer those times to them. And then, confirm it, and bam, it's on the books. So know the leader that you're working with, whether it be in that message or you facilitate the appointment and then bring it back to them. But I know many of you guys are probably thinking too, well, how the heck did you make that connection? Like, what was the secret sauce in that? And that's that overarching word of edification. That can seem very daunting or very intimidating. But all that really means is you are edifying a person to a level to where you've now bridged trust from stranger to stranger, to where your friend wants to meet this person because of who you've described them to be and how you've spoken of them. And so edification really is your bridge of trust. That's how I want you guys to think of it. But what I don't want you to do when you think of edification is to just like spew their resume and talk only business. Like if I was connecting to my friend and mentor, Marielle Filipponi, who brought me into Q, I wouldn't say something like, well, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you like the business, but you need to meet Marielle Filipponi. She's our #1 income earner. She's made like $4 million. Like, I'm not even kidding you, like $120,000 a month. Gosh, she's like working with thousands of people around the world. Yeah, I think, if I could get a second of her time, this would be nuts. So I don't want you to just spew a resume, because to some people, they may pull back and go, ooh, is this the close? Are these the big guns? This is where I get put in a corner and I just like sign my life away, and people get nervous. So don't just spew the resume and think that's going to be attractive and it's going to pull people in. I also don't want you to be too casual. Like, hey, I would love for you to meet my friend. She's pretty great. We have a great relationship. Our families are really close. Yeah, she's like the sweetest person ever. I would love to introduce you guys. No, don't make it casual. You've lost the power by making the intro very casual. There really has to be a blend of the two, because edification is, yes, your chance to share some of their accolades, Yes, it's an opportunity to talk about your relationship and really your trust with that person, but you also want to make it relatable. What are relatable pieces between the two people you get to meet? And this is why I did want to say you don't always have to connect to your upline. This is the power of going to events and meeting other people in Q, because you'll meet people with all different backgrounds where you get to connect sidelines sometimes because their stories match or their backgrounds match. And then it becomes really, they get to talk the same language, in that conversation, to where, yes, the belief and trust bumps a lot faster. And so if I was edifying, Marielle, we'll use her as an example. You'll see her on some of these videos as well. I would say something like this. I would say, look, I know you like the business, which I'm pretty excited about, but I know I've only been here with Q just over 3 years, but the person you really have to meet is Marielle. Yes, she's our #1 income earner, but all that really means is she's helped thousands of people around the globe, including my family, really make this business work. And what I love about her is, yes, I look up to her and I've learned so much, but our families have become very close. She's become a very dear friend. But I'm most excited because you guys actually have a lot in common. She's got an extensive background. She's also been in real estate, just like you. She's also a mom. So I just want you to hear her story of how she's doing it all. But also, I really believe she's going to be the best person to answer your questions. If I could get a second of her time, would you be open to chatting? Bam! You feel the power in that? I'm sure you want to go meet Marielle at this point, especially if you're related to some of those pieces. So to tie this all together, I challenge you. It's not going to feel comfortable the first time you connect or try to connect or attempt to connect. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to slip up. It's going to feel awkward, and that's totally fine. But I promise you, through repetitions and through efforts and through trying, you will get a win. You will see the system work for you when your friend and your mentor is talking to your prospect, and you can see them get to a place where the enrollment is getting a little bit closer. And maybe they point them in the direction of another tool or another exposure. Or maybe when they ask the winning question of, do you need to know anything else before we help you get started? And your friend says, no, let's do it. Well, bam, the pressure was taken off of you and you got the win, you got the enrollment. And now you have one of your first ambassadors joining your team to work side by side here with Q. And you've taught them how to do the system in the process. And so I hope this was value, and I hope it made sense. And it might be one that you want to listen to a couple times, but I'm telling you, the more times and repetitions that you attempt a connection and the more connections you make, you're going to see yourself fly through the ranks of builder, pro, executive, and beyond. And that's really where this business gets fun and gets exciting. And so congratulations, looking forward to meeting you here very soon. And let's crush it.